Greetings everyone. Charlene here. Send Parenting Tales. Come on, walk with me. God, this natural hair journey is mad. So every time I say I'm gonna come and make something short, but everything just feels like it's story time all the time. Maybe I need to post more regular so that I can tell shorter stories. So anyway, today, I went and supported a parent down at their son's school. I won't give too much info because I don't want to expose, but that was a first for me because it actually is not in my remit to do that. In this role that I have, that's not really a part of what we do. So, but I've been in this role for over a year now, and that's the first time that I've done that. So, and as you can imagine, I've heard so many, tragic stories and what have you. But yeah, this one touched me, and I had to, she asked me if I would come and support her. And yeah, it just felt right, it felt right in here. So went and supported her, and there's so much talk at the moment in Thurrock about inclusion and diversity. I'm actually working a 12-month project. This is something totally even separate to everything else for this organization, because they're wanting to collect data about what it is to be from a diverse community in Thurrock. What are the barriers? What are the challenges? So, gone along to the meeting, and I would say the meeting was productive because I helped her to construct quite a stern email which pushed forward this annual review. And I think once they saw that, she wasn't on her own, she had somebody supporting her, they, started to kind of deal with her how they should, Anyway, but it was while we was in the meeting. So, she's a Muslim lady. She wears a hijab. And, I just felt that she was being discriminated against because, English is not her first language. She doesn't fully understand, the whole system and what have you. And while we're in the meeting, I'm looking at her and just feeling like she's not understanding everything that they're saying. And it just kind of struck me about, how important, this cultural awareness training is for Thurrock and other places that are not diverse, who are not educated in diversity. And because surely when you go into a meeting of that nature or any nature with somebody where English is not their first language, surely there should be some kind of checklist or questions that you're asking, because it just struck me as like, why would there not be an interpreter? Or, with the, AI at our fingertips, surely there should be a transcript of like the questions or whatever's going to be discussed in her language. But I thought, obviously I didn't want to raise it in the meeting because I wanted to obviously make sure that what I was sensing was even right, So after the meeting, I said to her, did you understand everything that was being said? And she was like, no. And I said to her, I wish you had said that to me, like beforehand, because I would definitely raise it. But, you don't want to make assumptions. Anyway, I'm going to give some feedback, via email, just about the importance of being culturally aware, because nobody else in that meeting, there was like, 3 other people in that meeting. Nobody else raised this. And I don't know, it kind of goes without saying. But Anyway, you know, I'm just glad now that, you know, she's on our radar. I'm definitely going to support her when and where I can, just to make sure that, you know, she's getting the right, you know, resources and services that she needs for herself and her son. So yeah, gosh, you know, it's like Thurrock, you know, the demographic has changed, you know, the community has changed. So a quarter of the population now in Thurrock is ethnically diverse. But a lot of the services are not a reflection of that. You know, like the school that my children go to is now almost 40% ethnically diverse. And there is one teacher there that is of an ethnic background. And, you know, obviously I'm chuckling, but it's really not funny. And that's why, as I say, you know, we could debate about recruitment, you know, how you could get more of an ethnically diverse sort of staff. But I think, you know, an easier, you know, or a more immediate way to address that problem is to make sure that your staff has cultural awareness training, some form of diversity training, so that in situations like that, they have some kind of checklist to say, right, you're having a meeting with someone where English isn't their first language. Ask them. Do you know what I mean? Ask them, or have your checklist. Find out what is their first language. You know, it's so easy now. As I say, you've got AI literally translate this transcript into, you know, French, German, whatever it may be, Spanish, you know, Portuguese. So yeah, it's yeah, one step at a time. But yeah, it felt good to support her. And as I said, I can't really afford to do that, you know, all the time. But as I say, I'm sure there's going to be people that I encounter that I'm just moved to assist, you know. So yeah, like, comment, share, let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And yep, here's to a productive week.